Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. We have a great show for you today. We have a new scholarship honoring Chadwick Boseman, art flourishing in Morocco, and a silent disco in South Africa. Let's begin. And we begin the show with Tanzanian-born novelist Abdul Razak Ghana. He won the Nobel Literature Prize for his unflinching portrayal of colonialism and the trauma of the refugee experience. AFP has more. Ghana grew up in Zanzibar but arrived in England as a refugee in the late 1960s. He has published 10 novels and a number of short stories. The 72-year-old is the fifth African to win the Nobel Literature Prize. Nobel Committee head Anders Olsson says Ghana's writings have particular resonance with the record 82 million people fleeing wars, persecution, and violence in 2020. In all his work, Ghana has striven to avoid the ubiquitous nostalgia for a more pristine pre-colonial Africa, the Academy said. Ghana received many congratulations, including from fellow authors.
Seeing my fellow author, who is also a Tanzanian, receiving such a respected prize, the Nobel Literature Prize, has really inspired us. This will also encourage many of us young authors in the country to continue working hard so that one day we can also achieve a similar kind of award. I'm really proud of him.
Today I feel so happy and proud to see my fellow Tanzanian winning such a significant prize in the world. This really shows how much he's representing our country through his literature to the world. He has proven to the world that Tanzania also has talent when it comes to literature.
The BFI London Film Festival has opened with the JayZ produced flick The Harder They Fall. Regina King, Jonathan Majors, and Idris Elba headline in a film looking to redefine Westerns. All of the movie's characters existed in history, but were put together in a fictional story by London-based director James Samuel, who has also worked with JayZ on the soundtrack to The Great Gatsby in 2013. Idris Elba and Samuel describe themselves as lifelong friends, with Elba happily taking on the part of the villain Rufus Buck as a departure from his popular role as Detective John Luther. Elba told the AP about how coronavirus changed his attitude toward work.
I'm thankful for that, but when it was taken away from us and this film almost didn't happen, when we got to get back on the set, I mean, we really relished it, and it was really important, and here we are today, so it feels good.
Samuel says his second feature film expresses the importance of strong female characters.
Never in the history of mankind have women been subservient, but just like Hollywood at that stage weren't letting women directors direct major motion pictures, and they weren't letting people of color direct them, so otherwise we wouldn't have had such a skewed view. And everyone's subservient who isn't like a white male. So for me, I just wanted to draw on the women I know, women like yourself. Like I just want to draw on the women and their power, and just, we all come from women. I was raised by my mom, like, you know, and that's why, and hopefully it comes through in the film.
He and co-writer Boaz Yakin's female characters include roles for King and Zazie Beetz, who plays the first African-American female mail carrier, Stagecoach Mary. The film's main character, Nat Love, is played by the Five Bloods' Jonathan Majors, who will also star in Michael B. Jordan's Creed 3. The Harder They Fall is on Netflix on November the 3rd. And in some music news, Chukwuka Ekweni, better known as CK, is a Nigerian emo Afrobeat singer, songwriter, and producer whose hit Love Nwantiti has blown up thanks to the social media platform TikTok. CK is now getting a lot of recognition after the song's remix featuring DJ Yo and Axel was used by millions around the world under their videos on the now very popular app. Love Nwantiti translates to small love in Igbo, the language in which CK sings most of the song. In honor of the late Chadwick Boseman, who shined across our screens in multiple films and left a huge mark on the industry, Netflix and his alma mater, Howard University here in Washington, D.C., have announced a $5.4 million scholarship. This 4-year scholarship covers the full cost of university tuition for incoming students in the College of Fine Arts at Howard University. This scholarship embodies Chadwick's love for Howard, his passion for storytelling, and his willingness to support future generations of Howard students, said Howard University's Wayne A.I. Frederick while thanking Chadwick's wife and Netflix. Chadwick's most recognized film, Black Panther, was a 2018 hit for the Marvel Studios. And now you can watch the excitement of the film at the Kennedy Center in Washington as the National Symphony Orchestra performs the Oscar-winning score live to a showing of the movie, accompanied by Senegalese talking drum master Massamba Diop. Artist Amar Lamzi donned a bright yellow vest and paint-splattered shoes, selected a brush, and set to work on his latest canvas, the wall of a house in Morocco's seaside capital, Rabat. Lamzi is one of a new generation of artists whose murals are changing the face of Morocco cities. AFP takes us there. The creators of larger-than-life fantasy creatures co-inhabit with realistic portraits and scenes of daily life float from across the North African kingdom and beyond to Rabat for Jeddah, Arabic for wall, a festival dedicated to street art. Lamzi used the side of a house in the working-class district of Yaqub al-Mansour for his latest work, a man with 6 ears and green and pink skin floating in darkness. The 25-year-old completed his first murals in the seaside city of Agadir 4 years ago.
Street art is total freedom. Imagine if a person passes in front of a wall where there is a mural of hands of God or any other taboo subject. I believe that there will be a reaction.
It is an art form that has flourished since the early 2000s in Morocco's commercial capital of Casablanca. A decade later, in 2013, the Sababaga Festival starred a new level of public interest in murals. Salam Alouli, artistic director of Sababaga and Jeddah, explains how color can change a space.
Adding
color to an aggressive space calms the spirits. It's really quite simple. It's a very basic concept. You bring color into a neighborhood that is struggling. People appreciate the work. Children grow up with colors, with a more colorful mind. It changes the dynamic of a space a little bit.
Today, Lamzi covers walls with bright colors, creating a surrealist world full of references to skating and video games, breaking the monotony of the urban landscape. Now, skateboarding has moved from the streets to prestigious competitions, including the Summer Olympics. It has also shifted from being a male-dominated sport to one that girls are enjoying too. VOA's Vina Mubtadi reports.
After more than a year of staying home because of the pandemic, 11-year-old Angela Justice wanted to try something new. She chose to learn to ride a skateboard, a choice that took her mother by surprise.
And I was shocked when she said that. I was like, what? Okay. And then we started seeing like other little girls, like this little girl in the park skating. And I was like, oh, look, she's doing it.
I like being in person. I also like doing new tricks.
She is one of a dozen students who learned skateboarding from Goats on Wheels, a group in Montgomery County, Maryland.
I seem to have more inquiries from girls. I guess it's, girls are just breaking through the barriers these days, especially on the Olympics. You see the smallest girls getting the biggest prizes and, winning the golds and stuff like that.
The shift is being welcomed by professional skateboarders, including Indonesian national athlete Nyimas Bunga Cinta.
Kalau di Indonesia aku seneng banget karena
I'm really happy to go skateboarding with other girls. Sometimes when we practice, we like to keep up with each other's skills.
The 15-year-old recalls the situation was very different when she first took on the sport in 2014.
Masih didominasiin sama cowok sih karena
It was still dominated by boys because all the girls were older, 18 years old or more. I was the only younger girl.
As a hijab-wearing girl who rides skateboards in a conservative country, Cinta has destroyed many stereotypes, something that her father supports.
Harusnya begitu gitu kan. That's what skaters do. The hashtag is skate and destroy. Everything that a skateboard runs over will be destroyed. including mindsets. Stereotypes like women should stay in the kitchen, must listen to men, and should not be dominant are broken by skateboarders.
Today, Cinta has gained a series of national and international medals. She was the youngest medalist at the Indonesia-hosted Asian Games in 2018, and she competed in the US qualifying event for the Tokyo Olympics.
I haven't reached the goal I want. I want to be an Olympian.
3, okay? She also wants to see more girls skateboarding on the streets.
And now to South Africa, where each year hundreds of young people gather to watch as the car spinning tournament resumes near Johannesburg. And now recognized as a motorsport, spinning was born in South African townships during the late 1980s when gangsters would spin stolen cars to show off their style. And now that tournaments have resumed after more than a 2-year coronavirus pause, let's watch what new tricks these drivers have come up with. The smell of burnt tires wafts over an asphalt track outside Johannesburg, where hundreds gather to watch cars skid into circles at dizzying speed, stunt performers hanging perilously out of windows. 25-year-old Tracy Lee May has become a professional and competed in England, New York, and Pakistan.
So car spinning is a form of motorsport where you are allowed to do what you want and be whoever you want to be. It's a freestyle kind of sport. You get stunts, you get donuts, it's like a combination of all different motorsports tied into one, and it's so much fun. And the reason why I'm spinning is to show females that you can do anything you set your mind to doing.
Spinners spend hours in garages vamping up their racing cars. Most are old BMW carcasses with pimped engines, suspensions and exhaust pipes. Austin Kruger told AFP how he got into spinning.
I like the adrenaline it gives me. I started on a quad bike first before I started spinning. So that's how it happened when I got into the spinning. I bought my first car, I started on the streets, and that's how we built it, and now he's doing it in the arena.
Spectator Abdul Brooks is a dedicated fan of the sport.
The reason why we come here is because we got a different lifestyle. We got a different hobby. We love spinning, we love smelling smoke. That's what we love doing.
Although spinning has been banned from the streets, events still take place legally in closed urban arenas. There are often no prizes, but drivers take turns performing to gain applause. And from car spinning to a silent disco, there is a lot happening in South Africa. And while listening to soundtracks playing on headphones, dozens of people dance in a mountaintop park in Johannesburg to help beat the coronavirus blues after President Cyril Ramaphosa eased national COVID-19 restrictions to the lowest level ever, allowing larger gatherings. AFP has this story. It's a budding urban craze spawned by the coronavirus pandemic lockdown, which shattered nightclubs in South Africa, the country's hardest hit on the continent. Organizer Frank Leyer explains how the idea came about.
The idea behind the silent disco was created for people that are not into clubs. People just want to watch the sunset. It's a different asylum, a different kind of people.
One Sunday a month, revelers dance away the day in the open air while enjoying a 360-degree panoramic view of the city from Northcliffe Ridge Eco Park, one of the highest points in Johannesburg.
The gig industry or the nightlife industry also has to evolve to be able to accommodate people, because people still want to do it. As you can see, there's still a demand of good music, being out with my friends and still dancing, you know. So I think the idea is just to be able to create something that speaks to the people now.
Dancing with three friends, Jacqueline Jennings breathed a sigh of relief that finally she could enjoy a fun day out after nearly 18 months of lockdown.
It feels so good to be out. It really, really does. It just feels like on top of God's garden.
South Africa accounts for around 35% of the continental cases of coronavirus. The government is working to vaccinate as many people as possible to achieve population immunity. And with that, we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voanews.com. We're also on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, where you can watch our videos. Remember to share and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.